Hey, it's me, Ben, and I wanted to welcome you to today's show. Now, today's topic is going to be out of chapter 3 of the Self Help for At Risk Teens book. It's how anger affects you. Now, anger can affect your life in many, many different ways, and I can tell you firsthand, I've had this experience. Most of my life, I was angry, coming from a broken home, being raised by a single mother, then losing my mother when I was 16. It felt unfair. I felt like my life wasn't fair. Why me? Why does other people have it better? These are the kind of things that run through your mind, and it causes anger. You get angry. You feel like you maybe have been cheated out of something. And in this episode, I'm going to cover about 6 or 7 points to just give you an idea of how you can handle some of these situations, like the results of being angry. Some of it is disrespect, guilt, blame, anger, redirecting the anger, identifying the triggers, and seeking treatment if you need it. Now, these are all things that are relevant to anybody who has gone through some significant events in their life, whether it have been losing somebody close to you or any other major event that's caused some kind of a trauma. You may have some kind of anger. You may also just be dealing with grief and loss, which is what we're going to cover in next week's episode. But today we're going to talk about anger and how it affects you. So the first topic is disrespect, because when you're angry, you're mad inside, you have a chip on your shoulder, you're walking around just looking for trouble. And right now, you don't need any more odds stacked against you. So, disrespecting people who don't deserve it just because you're feeling some kind of way, it just simply isn't fair. So do not disrespect other people just because you're having personal problems. The person that's waiting on you in a store, or trying to help you in school, or whatever you're dealing with, you got strangers just looking to help you, and you're walking around giving them an attitude, being disrespectful, telling them things that they don't need to hear. Because you're having a bad day shouldn't mean you taking it out on somebody else. So disrespect and projecting your anger onto other people is one of the most common things that I know I went through personally, and I see it all the time, and it's just something you can totally control. When you have a better attitude and you think more positive, you maybe won't be disrespecting people as much. And so it all starts with developing yourself, reading positive things, thinking positive, just accepting personal responsibility for what you can control, which is a really big thing. The next topic is guilt, because you may feel guilty, and if you're feeling guilty about something, it will cause you to be angry. So if you're feeling guilty about a certain situation, maybe something you did, maybe something someone did to you, you might feel guilty about how you could have done something different, or how you could have changed the events. Well, you can't change the past. So feeling guilty, really, there's a few things you could do. You can, make amends. You could say you're sorry. You can, try to make it up to somebody if it's a specific thing where you can actually go ahead and do some gestures to show how sorry you are. But you can't change the past, so you can't change what has been done. All you can do is change your behavior and your actions moving forward. So, don't carry this guilt around. Do everything you can to try to make it right and move on from it. But guilt will cause you to be angry. So try not to hold on to guilt. Do everything you can to put it in your past and move on. The next thing we're going to talk about is blame, because blaming other people will cause you to have anger. Now, anger will cause blame causes anger. They go hand in hand. So if you're, blaming other people for everything that's going on in your life, you're going to be angry. You're going to feel some kind of way. And I think right now is a time when you need to start really looking at what it is that you're blaming other people for, because some of it may be rightful to blame them, but other things are, your control. You have to take personal responsibility, and taking personal responsibility is a huge, huge part of growing up to be, independent and really accepting responsibility for what you can control. If you can control it one way or another, it's up to you to do so. So don't go around blaming everybody for everything. Start taking personal responsibility, asking yourself questions like, how could I do something different? What could I do different? How can I make improvements in this area of my life? What can I totally control? What do I have control over? And when you start to ask yourself questions, you're going to start to find out that you can control certain things. Not everything is someone else's fault. If you can control it, it's on you to do so. So don't blame someone else for something you could totally control. And if somebody has done you wrong and it is totally their fault and they should get the blame, that's fine. Blame them for it, but don't use it as an excuse. And if somebody has done something bad to you, the best thing you could do is forgive them and walk away and never look back. Don't give them an opportunity to continue to do damage to your life. So I definitely think there's some blame to go around, but you should just take as much responsibility as you can for the circumstances and situations that you can control. Anger causes trouble. When you're angry all the time, it will eventually cause trouble for you one way or another. So if you start to walk around with a chip on your shoulder and somebody bumps into you, or someone else is having just as bad of a day as you are, you may be tempted to say something to them, and they might turn around and say something back to you, and before you know it, you're in a fist fight. And fist fights lead to all kinds of trouble. It could lead to you getting hurt. It could lead to you hurting someone else, which could eventually lead to you getting locked up and being arrested for assault, and it just goes all downhill from there. So you definitely want to try to avoid getting yourself in trouble because of your anger. Don't let your anger get you in trouble. You got to learn to control it and redirect it. And that's the big thing, is everyone has some level of anger within them. It's just that some people are better at controlling it and redirecting it than others. So you got to become good at redirecting your anger, putting it towards something, that will benefit you. So if you're angry, for example, over maybe the environment and how the ocean has all this trash in it, and you're real passionate about that, you can become an activist. You can start, a group to help clean the ocean. You can, start change groups that are going to help the environment in other ways, recycling and other things like that. Whatever it is that you're angry about, find a way to redirect that anger into something more positive. So even if you're angry and you're looking for a way to really take it out, join karate, join a martial arts, join a boxing, join a physical sport, a way that you can physically take that anger out on somebody legally, like the right way, where, if you join a gym and you're boxing, you could beat that bag as much as you want and nobody's going to say nothing to you about it. But when you hit another person, now you're going down the wrong road. So learn to redirect your anger, and most importantly, identify the triggers. Once you know what causes you to be angry, you can begin to avoid it. You can start to track it. You can start to, realize that if you're spending time with a certain person every Monday, and then Monday night you find yourself being real angry, well, there you go. They might be the trigger. They might be the person that you need to start avoiding. So one of the things I talk about in my new book is to write down everything in a journal. Keep track of who you spend time with, where you go, who are you spending time with, where are the places you're at. If you realize that if a certain, whether it's a a specific class in school, or if it's a specific after school activity, that every time you attend that event, you come home and you're really frustrated and angry. Well, now you know that that's the problem, so you need to start avoiding it. And when you're writing it down, you'll start to see patterns showing up. And that's what you want to really do, is identify what it is that's making you mad so you can address it. If it's a specific person, you may need to have a real conversation with them. Let them know how you feel. Let them know what's bothering you. You know, the whole thing is getting it under control, identifying it, getting help any way you can. So if you can, practice some, meditation, or you could do other things, just writing it on in your journal just to get it out of your system, maybe you'll feel better. But if you're working on your anger in other ways on your own and it's just simply not working and you're still really angry, you may need to seek some professional help. You may need some anger management treatment, whether it be a group or one-on-one therapy. You could start by talking to your guidance counselor or whatever it is, but have an adult in your life, find someone that you can go see, depending on whether, you have insurance or you don't, or, what's available in your area. That's something that there's no shame in seeking help. So if you're having anger issues beyond your control and they're getting you into trouble and they're causing other areas of your life to have problems, I highly encourage you to seek some form of treatment. Now, as a total disclaimer, I am not a counselor. I am not a doctor. This is all just things that I know I've personally dealt with, and that these are some of the ways that I've been able to get through it. And so I just want to help you become aware of what it is you can do for yourself. And anything I can do, please feel free to comment on the video, the podcast. This particular episode is being done as a video, which will also be turned into a podcast. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to get it on just an audio podcast. You can subscribe through Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, all the big ones. So, and if you're listening to it on the podcast and you want to see this in a video, go to the Self-Help Company on YouTube. So I'll put a link to that in the description as well. So I hope this episode was helpful to you. Please subscribe to the channel. I look forward to putting out more content, more videos related to the topics, not only just in the book, but everything I can do to help you overcome the odds and live the life of your dreams. So thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. Like I said, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, whatever you can do to stay in touch, because the book's coming out soon. I have the only copy right here. It's the unofficial first copy, and the book will be available very, very soon. So, like I said, selfhelpcompany.com. You can join the email list. You can actually get 4 free personal development ebooks, Think and Grow Rich, and some of the other classics right now to get you started. And I'll be able to send you an email as soon as the book's available. So thank you again for tuning in. I look forward to connecting with you very soon. Have a great day.